Marinaro, the Sick Podcast. The NFL is here. It's opening night in the National Football League regular season. It's the Cowboys at the Bucks, as is tradition, of course, with the defending Super Bowl champs starting off the season. And how better can you have a show start off than being joined by Ian Rappaport, one of the premier NFL insiders in the world with NFL.com, the NFL Network. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm extremely well. I'm honored that you're part of the program going forward and that we can talk a little football here. It's amazing. Doing what you do, how do you feel today on opening day?
I'm extremely excited. I would say a little nervous, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what stories are going to come. You don't know what's going to be on the football field. You don't know what controversies are going to play out. So there's a lot of unknown, but the fact that we actually get to play games and we actually get to watch games, it is always just a great day, and I'm really, really excited about it.
All right. Okay. So what are some of the things that you've highlighted that you're looking at saying, all right, tonight, opening night, I'm really going to pay attention to this?
Well, I think, sort of the obvious ones, for better or worse. I mean, how is Dak Prescott's ankle and how is his shoulder? We sort of haven't seen him do much. I mean, I was there at practice. I watched him throw to Amari Cooper, but it wasn't live. At that point, he was just coming back from that kind of shoulder strain. So it was, not as much as you'd like to see. Like, what does Dak Prescott look like? And then I think for the Bucs, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be similar, but every season's different. Every player's different. No one is exactly the same from year to year. So how have they changed? What new things do I need to look for? Joe Tryon, a rookie for them, is apparently really, really good. What does he look like? There's still a lot of things that are going to be really fun to watch for. And I'm just excited we get to do it tonight.
Considering that pretty much everyone's back and it's another year for Tom Brady under that system, and we saw what he did with it last year, of course, winning the Super Bowl. Are they your Super Bowl favorite?
To me, it's sort of still about the Chiefs. I mean, I still think they have a stacked roster. They have Patrick Mahomes, who's the best in the NFL, and they rebuilt their offensive line. Mahomes was obviously not healthy at all last year. Just really, serious injury by the time he got to the Super Bowl, and the offensive line was decimated. Not taking anything away from the Bucs, they obviously won and 100% deserve it. But to me, the Chiefs are still in a, to me, the Chiefs are still in the driver's seat and the team to beat, even though the Bucs won the Super Bowl last year and very much should have and deserved it.
The Sick Podcast, the show is brought to you by Essentia, the world's only natural memory foam mattress. Go to myessentia.com/sickpod. Use code SickPod for a free pillow with your purchase. Essentia, beyond organic sleep. Tom Brady put everyone to sleep last year. Boy, he did it again. How does he still have not anything left to prove in his career? Because obviously he doesn't. But with this team, with this group, is there something you'd like to see him do? Or is there something that you're going to be looking at in particular?
No, I think, the weird thing about Brady was how injured he was last year. I mean, he had a fully torn MCL and still looked exactly the same. I mean, we sort of knew maybe something wasn't 100% right, but you never really knew. And obviously we didn't get the full indication until I believe he wore a sleeve during the boat parade. I think that was the first time we had some sort of like, hey, maybe Tom Brady's not 100%. So he's incredible. I mean, the fact that he could fully play on that, not be on the injury report, all of that stuff is truly amazing. Certainly gives you a lot of respect for what he does. Not that we need it at all, but a lot of respect, obviously, just for him being able to get through the season and looking so good doing it. So I think tonight you'll probably see more of the same from Brady.
If Brady's your guy, you can get a Bucs jersey at sportbubshop.com for all of your officially licensed sports apparel and more. Use Sick Merch and our Sick Merch as well. Use code SICK15 for 15% off on all of their items. All right. I want to take a look at their opponent, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. You talked about Dak Prescott. What's your prediction for the Cowboys this season? I would imagine a lot of it has to do with which Dak we're going to get.
I mean, I don't have any question about which Dak we're going to get. I mean, to me, he's always been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL ever since he came on as a rookie and shocked everyone by just seizing that job, kind of causing Tony Romo to just basically bow out to him and just kind of give him the job, which Dak earned. I think Dak is going to be back to his really good productive self. Cowboys roster stacked, man. I mean, it is, it is certainly the kind of thing where they should be one of the better teams in football. So, I see everyone thinks the Bucs are going to win tonight, and it's certainly possible. I don't, looking at both teams, I don't see why the Bucs should be that much better than the Cowboys. That's kind of where I'm trying to figure it out, because the Cowboys have a deep roster. The 53-man cutdowns were hard to them. So, to me, it should be a really close game and a really good game.
All right. The TJ Watt contract situation. What is it like? Because Ben Roethlisberger is saying, give this guy his money. This guy is the best in the game. He's the best at what he does. This is why Ben Roethlisberger took a pay cut, essentially, so that you can alleviate some money here and pay guys like this. What's going on?
Well, they're in talks. And they don't have a deal yet, but the Steelers' deadline is, basically Saturday night. So the fact that they don't have a deal yet is not, I would say, alarming. The fact that TJ Watt has practiced is a good sign, right? I mean, at least it means he's probably going to play Sunday. And, this is what Mike Tomlin said. He kind of indicated that he would practice, and he has. So that's, I think, the most important thing. And, I'd love to see him get paid. He deserves to get paid. He should. They're still talking. They got till Saturday. Usually when two sides want to get something done, usually that gets done. So we will sort of hold out hope until that happens.
Chris Godwin, 100% based on what you're hearing, yes or no?
Yeah, I think he should be good. He sat out of practice with a quad, but it was really just precautionary. I think he's probably going to be fine. And
we heard earlier today, it looks like Carson Wentz is going to be able to start.
Carson Wentz is going to start. I wouldn't say he's 100%, but, probably 95%. I think he's in a good position. He has battled through it. The surgery went extremely well. He is going to be on the field for the Colts at I think the fact that he's basically recovered is amazing. A lot of credit to him, a lot of credit to the doctors. I think it's incredible. But he is going to be on the field week 1 for the Colts, which is a huge win for the Colts and a huge win for the Eagles, because their first rounder obviously depends on how much Carson Wentz plays anyway. So good for all sides.
Cheers to him. I'll take a sip of my beverage, Cherry River Hard Seltzer, only 90 calories, natural flavors, no preservatives. Now available in Quebec grocery stores and the beer stores. It's prediction time, and I want you to take a look at the divisions and who off the top of your head do you think should win their respective divisions?
Oh, boy. Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
We'll start wherever you want to start.
Let me get to my divisions. Hold on.
No problem. So we can start AFC East if you'd like.
All right.
And
I got
who and why?
We'll start AFC East.
Sure.
It's tough. All right. So to me, I would say probably the Dolphins. Defense is going to be really good. Tua is going to give them just enough. They should be able to run the ball. AFC North, I would say Ravens. Still stacked, still really good. I think Lamar's going to have a good year. AFC South.
Yeah.
I would say Titans, probably convincingly. AFC West, I would say Chiefs, because they're the Chiefs, but the Chargers should be really close and really good. NFC East, Cowboys.
If I can, you kind of surprised me with the Dolphins. I was thinking you were going to go with the Bills.
Well, everybody goes with the Bills. What fun is that? I mean, they're a good team. It's tough to do it 2 years in a row. So I'll give another team a shot there.
Granted, gotcha.
Cowboys, I think, in the NFC East. NFC North, to me, Packers. I think they're going to have a great season. They got through all the offseason issues. Going to have a great season. NFC South, I would say probably the Bucs, but I think the Saints will be close. Saints are going to be good, I think. And then NFC West, probably the Seahawks. So, kind of picked a lot of the teams you would think, but that's, barring some sort of craziness, and we will see some craziness. It's kind of how I see it.
Saints, even without Drew Brees, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jameis is going to have a bounce back year and kind of resurrect his career. So,
I think you probably already answered the question, but I'll ask it anyway. And the question was going to be, which team do you think had a great year last year and there's going to be a considerable drop-off this season? Would it be the Bills?
I don't know about considerable. It's just it's hard, especially when you have a place that hasn't won a lot. It's hard to do it 2 years in a row. And if you're a quarterback like Josh Allen and you sort of surprised everyone last year and had such a great season, everyone's going to be gunning for you this year. It just makes it that much harder. So nothing against the Bills. I think they're going to be awesome. It's hard to do it 2 years in a row. That's all.
Saquon Barkley, what can you tell us?
He is going to play week 1, almost definitely. Probably will get fully cleared tomorrow. Should be fine. Probably, I wouldn't say he's going to be himself right off the bat. But at least he will be close probably through the first month of this season, then he'll be fine.
He is one of the premier NFL insiders in the world. Ian Rappaport of NFL.com, the NFL Network. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your football.
All right, man. Thank you. You too.
All right. Cheers, bud. All right. You know what? We have Ian Rappaport on the show. It's a huge celebration. The show, we're out of Montreal, and for Montrealers, I'm sure they're probably going to have a NFL bash, sophistication, event rentals, live music, DJs, sound systems, tents, chairs, tables, decor, lighting, photo booth, TV screens, your one-stop shop. Call them at 514-570-5770. When you say football, you think a lot of things, right? But you think about the great quarterbacks in the game. You think about the great game that it is, the great league that is the NFL. You also think, of course, about NFL picks, spreads, odds, and you must be thinking about fantasy. So I want to bring into the program the premier NFL fantasy guy in the world with the NFL Network, Adam Rank.
Fantasy Ranks with Adam Rank.
Hey, bud, what's going on?
Oh, my gosh. It is so great to be on with you. A little intimidating following Ian Rappaport, though. That's like being on at the Comedy Store and Bill Burr was on in front of you, and now I'm just some goofball sitting here talking about fantasy football. That was as good as it gets. I just enjoyed watching him and all the insight that he has, and I'm just going to try to not take this show into the ground. I think it's the only thing. Don't be
intimidated, because when we put this show together and we're getting ready for the NFL season, we wanted the best of the best at what they do. And Ian, of course, is the best, and you are the best at what you do. So together, we're hoping that this podcast is going to be one of its kind and be the best itself. All right, so welcome. Ian was like a kid in a candy store. It's NFL. It's opening day. He actually was saying that he's a little nervous because there are things that we might not see happening that'll happen. It's kind of like expect the unexpected. Are you two going through some nerves going into week 1?
Well, I have nerves for an entirely different reason, and it's always the fantasy football season and trying to make those picks right. It really does. Like whenever, people ask me too, they're like, how do you feel like if you're wrong about something? A lot of times if I'm doing, like famously a couple of years ago, I picked the 49ers to go 3-13 the year they went to the Super Bowl. Like that, yeah. That's mistakes happen. Jimmy Garoppolo had not been healthy, but whatever. Like I'm not going to sit here and try to rationalize that, but it's like when somebody asks you like, hey, do I start Mike Evans and Antonio Brown? And you give a recommendation. Like I live and die with that. Like it really upsets me, and it's almost a problem. So I get nervous that way when people are asking me things like that. Like, do I start Tom Brady today? I'm like, yeah, we're starting Tom Brady, and so I have nerves that way, and so but still, it's all fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And now, once the games get kicked off, it's an exciting time.
Austin Eckler, what's the situation?
You know what? It's a Wednesday. I think that we're out of practice right now. We forgot how these things work. A lot of times there's some load management issues and these players will not practice on Wednesday. And so yesterday, Austin Eckler tweeted out that he was healthy and ready to go. And this was after practice. And I don't know if this was his PR team or anything like that. He said, hey, looking forward to it. And I'm fully healthy, ready to go. There was a report in The Athletic that said that Brandon Staley is a little bit different than Anthony Lynn. Everybody has got to be out stretching before practice. Like nobody works on their own or anything like that. It's a team organized thing. And if anybody has any, it doesn't even have to be a big thing. They will sit them out if they feel like there is something that could become an issue. The Chargers are committed to entering week 1 as the healthiest team in the NFL. They do not want Austin Eckler missing games. So, you know what? Unless he misses practice on Friday and it's a thing, I won't be concerned. And also, he's doing a podcast too. So it's like, we're going to hear from Austin Eckler eventually. So don't freak out until Friday, please. I understand. Like, it was that first injury report drops. My phone starts blowing up. Hey, thanks for the Austin Eckler recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm like, he hasn't missed time yet. Like, let's just, everybody exercise some patience. I understand it's week 1.
Yeah.
We want to go crazy. We're excited, but it's like, we can also chill out for a couple more days.
And well, hold on a second. It's actually Thursday, so Friday's tomorrow.
The practice. Well, we haven't gotten the Chargers practice report right now. We're doing this live. I'm in Southern California.
Yeah.
The Chargers are not. They're about 10 miles from my house.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah. So, if you guys want me to, I'll drive over there. I don't know if they'll let me in, but I could try to go to the IKEA next door and try to get up on the roof. We'll see. I've got calls in to people within the Chargers, but I think we'll end up finding out that this was just a load management issue. They're just trying to make sure that Austin Eckler is healthy and ready to go. Number 1 for the Chargers and number 2 for our fantasy teams, or at least that's what I'd love to believe.
Yes, but number 3, not for your Bears, because he would be going up against your Bears on Sunday night, right?
No. That's he's the Chargers. We got the LA Rams.
Oh, we got the Rams.
Same stadium, same color scheme, different locker rooms.
Oh my God, I got confused already on opening. That's all right. On opening.
Listen, there's a lot of things going on. There's all sorts of things. By the way, just because of this show, I know you guys probably noticed I'm wearing this sick Bears hat. Just because I'm doing this show now, I wanted to feel a little bit more connected. I ordered an Expos hat.
Are you
old school? Yeah, I'll rock it here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool then. Good for you. All right. Okay.
So I want to feel like I'm part of this. So that's what I'm doing for you.
Yeah. Confused on that one. He's going up against Washington on Sunday at 1:00. So
that's a tough matchup.
Yeah, well, it's a tough defense.
Yeah, they're very good.
So, how much do you put things like that into consideration when you're taking a look at a player who's a really good player, but he's going up against like one really stingy defense? At that point, do you say, you know what, that defense he's going up against is not a good matchup, I'll stay away?
Yeah, well, I think that's what daily fantasy does for you, is that you would not play Austin Eckler in your daily fantasy league. But I think for any of us in our home leagues, you're starting Austin Eckler despite the matchup. Number 1, he's going to catch a lot of passes. I have the expectation that he's going to be the second most targeted player in that offense behind Keenan Allen. So he's going to make up some ground there. Good players can still play well against tough defenses. To me, the matchups really come into play when you get further down the list of guys that you're starting. Like if you have Raheem Mostert, and he's going up against the Steelers, I might look at some other players. But anybody that's a first-round draft pick, be it Nick Chubb, it's Christian McCaffrey, even Saquon Barkley, you and Ian were talking about. Like, I'm not benching them because they have the ability to hit that home run at any time. Like, like Vlad Guerrero Jr. or his dad. Like, you're never. I don't care who the pitcher is. Yeah, I will still take that guy anytime.
That's a real good comparable. That's a good point. Guys that have the ability, you take a risk if you don't start them because they're able to break out just like that, and then you're going to say, why the hell did I have one of the best players in his position at my availability and I didn't start him? Speaking of which, the fantasy, I'm curious this week by position. Who do you have scoring the more points? The quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends. When we talk next week, we'll have talked about week 1 being a week for who in fantasy?
I think there's going to be some wide receivers who end up breaking out pretty huge. Adam Thielen is a guy that I'm watching this week, whether you have him in your home leagues or you're playing DFS. I would look at Adam Thielen as somebody that you need to start. Trey Wayans is not going to be playing for the Cincinnati Bengals, which means that Eli Apple will be. So that's going to be huge for him and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's, bothered a little bit by a shoulder injury, not enough to keep us from starting him. But I think Adam Thielen, who kind of went through this offseason a little bit under the radar, like people kind of ignored the fact that he scored 14 touchdowns last season or just are fearing that he's going to regress, which is like, okay, that makes sense. But I think that he's going to have a huge game. One of the Bengals receivers in that same contest will likely break out as well. I really like Tyler Boyd because the Vikings upgraded at the cornerback position. They got Rashard Breeland. They got Patrick Peterson. So I look for Joe Burrow to be looking to Tyler Boyd in the slot and taking advantage of those matchups. So I think Tyler Boyd could have a big one. And then if you look at the Falcons and the Eagles, two teams that struggled defensively last year, two really good quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts was one of the best quarterbacks over the last month of last season.
Yes.
Matt Ryan is another guy that everybody wants to pretend that he's not good, but he throws for 4,500 yards every year. Yep. He throws for at least 26 touchdowns.
Yep.
He is a great player. So Calvin Ridley's going to have a huge matchup. I think we'll see Kyle Pitts come out and have a nice game too. Devonta Smith for the Eagles. I know a lot of people are talking about him, but A.J. Terrell, who was the first-round pick of the Falcons last year, played pretty well at the end of last season. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Jalen Reagor ended up breaking out a little bit in this contest. That's another DFS guy, probably not playing.
Yeah, but you just brought up the name of a very young player, and I'm wondering how much does that make you shy away or not from taking a player, a rookie, first game. You don't adopt a wait and see approach. You figure if the player has talent, you go, or do you adopt that wait and see approach?
I think the way the NFL was 5 years ago, you would probably shy away from wide receivers and quarterbacks and everything like that. The college game has become so sophisticated. These players can come to the NFL level and make immediate impacts. Look at last year. Justin Herbert, 5 minutes before game time, was thrown into a situation against the defending Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. And then he went out and had a fantastic game. That turned into a fantastic season. So not that every quarterback is going to be Justin Herbert, but I look at two specifically. Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville going up against the Houston Texans. Yeah. That's a fantastic matchup. Zach Wilson going up against the Carolina Panthers. Last year, the Carolina Panthers allowed a top 10 or a top 5 fantasy quarterback in 4 of their last 8 games. I know they used a high draft pick on a cornerback, but still, I think that Zach Wilson has an opportunity to go out there and throw the ball a lot, especially if that game starts to get a little bit high scoring, because the Jets also have some problems defensively. So with the way the NFL is now, I think we can trust those guys. Like even Terrace Marshall down in he played for LSU, but he's down in Carolina playing for his old college offensive coordinator. He is somebody that can pop out. Now, he's somebody I might not play the first week.
I hear you.
We have to see how that works out. But he's somebody that we should be keeping an eye on because he can come out and have an immediate impact. And Justin Jefferson last year. I think that if you played at LSU, I think you're ready to go in the NFL and the SEC and some of those things. So, yeah, I have no hesitation, whereas I would have probably had it 5 years ago.
In ending, with Murray being released, does Kamara's value go up in New Orleans?
A little bit, yeah. You know what? Honestly, one of the problems with Jameis in his last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and honestly, this would go back to his time at Florida State. Jameis was never afraid to thread the needle. Like, he never saw a window that was closed. He thought he could throw anybody who was open, or throw anybody open, which is admirable. And I appreciate that from him. But you need to chill out a little bit. And if you have the opportunity to throw some shorter passes to Alvin Kamara, well, why don't we go ahead and do that?
I'll chill out. I'll chill with my Cherry River. Cheers to you, bud. Enjoy your football tonight. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. All right. Hopefully, my boy will take some of your advice. Who knows? He'll make us some money.
It's time for Sick Picks, brought to you by MyBookie.
Speaking of MyBookie, place your bets on MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag/The Sick Podcast. Use code SickPicks to double your deposit. Bet, win, get paid. That's my buddy Cash. His handle is @RunMyBets. Holy mother of Jesus. No. Hold on a second. Show me that again. For those who'll be listening, he's showing me, I don't know how many Canadian $20 bills. Can you flick them? No, those are real. No, those are real.
These are all real, baby. This is the real deal, guys. And this is what I do with sports betting. I'm going to double this by the end of the season. NFL's here, guys. We've waited 6 months. We've arrived. We're here. And Tony, I got a pick for you guys tonight. Now, full transparency, guys. I sent out Buccaneers -7 to all my clients a few days ago. The line has moved significantly. It's now -9.5, -10. The value's been extracted. I'm not on a side. I don't have a strong opinion on that side anymore. But I do have one really strong opinion left. Over 25.5 first half. I'm not betting the full game, and here's why, guys. I like the over in the first half because I have a feeling the Buccaneers are going to light it up early, and if they do, You're going to see a run-heavy, passive team come out in the second half that can run the clock, dry up the score. You're not going to see much scoring. I like the over 25.5 in the first half, mainly, guys. We have like 8 wide receivers on the field this game. That could be a number 1 option on almost 10 out of these 33 teams, guys. We got some ridiculous receivers coming in here. We got a ridiculous offensive capable Cowboys team. Dak Prescott's back. Guys, I see points. Give me the over 25.5 first half. I think it's going to get there. I think there might be 30, 33 points, something like that. Get me on the over on the first half, guys. This is my first play of the season. We're cashing huge today, guys. Lock in on this play.
My God, that's a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. God bless you. He's my buddy Cash, and hopefully he's not only going to make me some, he's going to send me some. Can you help out a friend, please? Thanks, Cash. Good luck. Enjoy your football tonight.
Sounds good, guys.
All right. He's got your picks. He's going to make you some cash. I'm going to take his advice. That looked like a lot of money. It's a sick podcast where you never know how much money you'll see. Salute. Enjoy your football.